Hey y'all, Gary here with Tennessee Stands. Just want to give you a little bit of an update on what's going on right now with the special session. Yesterday, motions were made on Monday during the first day of the special session to adjourn. There was a motion made in the Senate and a motion made in the House. And first, I'll take you to the House. If you look at the motion, you'll see that there were only 6 yes votes for the motion to adjourn in the House yesterday. Take a look at those names. Worth noting, this paper was printed before one vote was changed. There were actually 7 yeses. So you can add Representative Jody Barrett's name to this list. So Representative Jody Barrett plus the 6 listed here, take a look at them, are the only people in the entire House of Representatives out of 99 individuals that were willing to vote on a motion to even allow a resolution to adjourn to be heard, which was sponsored by Representative Brian Ritchie. It's quite incredible, isn't it? And you have to think, how is it that only 7 men and women could find it within themselves to vote? Surely there's more conservatives than that in the House, right? Surely more than 7 representatives heard from their constituents across the state of Tennessee in 95 counties that they wanted this special session to adjourn immediately. We should not be there, right? We should not be having these discussions. Well, I've got some news for you, though. Don't count it all necessarily. I'm not taking up for them. But don't count it all against some of your favorite representatives for voting no. Because here's what we found out, which, by the way, isn't a shock. This happens all the time. But I want to say publicly, and I'm really hoping, in fact, I'm counting on it, that sometime very soon, we are going to have state representatives that are actually willing to say these things in public so that you, the voter, knows what's going on at the State House. These members, the chairman, were threatened directly by Speaker Cameron Sexton and leader William Lamberth that if they voted on this resolution to adjourn, they were threatened that they would lose their chairmanship positions on committees, that they would lose committee positions, and that their bills, anything they ran in the General Assembly, would be killed, that they would see nothing passed that they would sponsor or support. These were the threats levied by GOP leadership to members of the House in terms of a vote to adjourn yesterday, Monday, August 21st. In fact, already this morning, one of the names you saw on that list, Kelly Kiesling, for the remainder of the special session has already been punished. He has officially lost his chairmanship of committee for the remainder of this special session. It remains to be seen whether or not he'll retain his chairmanship moving into next year's general session. But you got to understand something, see. The men and women that you elect right now to represent you in the State House aren't necessarily showing up on principle to vote their conscience, though I believe many of them would like to. And there are 7 of them that will vote their conscience regardless of being threatened. But for many, and you know, you got to balance this. You got to understand the position they're in. And I do. I would still push that every man and woman, regardless, vote on principle. But when you're faced with, if you vote yes on a measure that you know most likely will fail, we're going to make sure that everything you support next year dies a horrible death in committee. It's a hard decision to make when you're an elected representative trying to get things accomplished for the people of Tennessee. But what I want Tennesseans to know is this is the kind of House that Speaker Cameron Sexton runs. It is a House of manipulation and a House of intimidation. You need to know that. I hope that members of the House are much more vocal, and I hope that men and women in the House find the stones very, very soon to oust this man, because they can, from his position as Speaker. What is happening in the House is absolutely absurd. But it's not all bad news. Before I get to this last clip that I want to leave you with from Senator Janice Bowling, we have discovered today, the talk is that most likely, and again, take all of this with a grain of salt because everything can change on a dime. But most likely, the General Assembly is set to adjourn tomorrow on Wednesday. The Senate seems pretty set on only passing 3 bills. One having to do with codifying Executive Order 100 in terms of a requirement for TBI reporting. Another having to do with some reporting on autopsies, and another one on giving a tax abatement, so no more sales taxes on the purchase of gun safes. And there are some amendments being posted on that bill that we're watching for. But apparently, as far as we can tell, those are the bills that the Senate is committed to passing and most likely adjourn tomorrow. Again, all of that can change. That's not really been stated in the House insofar as much as what they want to do, but that's where things sit right now. Okay, so, the good news is we are currently not looking at any emergency orders of protection or any red flag laws, and hopefully we will not see this Medicaid expansion where we see more federal money pumped into mental health and bring more federal regulation into the state of Tennessee. So for right now, on that front, things look good. But in terms of the motion to adjourn, which we've advocated for and was always the right call beginning yesterday, I want to leave you with this very encouraging, inspirational clip. This was one of our favorite people at the Capitol. This was Senator Janice Bowling on the Senate floor yesterday, right after the floor session commenced, making a motion to adjourn. And listen to what she had to say.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And my fellow members, all of us, upon being sworn in as a member of the Tennessee State Senate, took an oath of office per Article 10 of our state constitution that we would not consent to any act or thing whatever that shall have a tendency to lessen or abridge the rights and privileges of the people of Tennessee. The oath means as much to me today, and I'm sure it does to you, as it did the very first time I was sworn into this office. And today, we've been called into an extraordinary session of the General Assembly to address public safety, and in the governor's own words, do something. The governor, per Article 3, Section 9, indeed does have the constitutional power, and I stand ready to fulfill my obligation to the people of Tennessee. However, I must question the exact nature of this obligation. The Constitution gives the governor this executive authority predicated on a very important qualifier, that the call be made an extraordinary occasion. Admittedly, there's very little legal precedent as to what that phrase means, and certainly governors across the nation in their own states have called their legislators into special session for a variety of reasons. Courts have upheld their power to do so. But as a state senator in Tennessee who swore an office to an oath to the Constitution and to the people, I must ensure that my actions also satisfy my conscience to that oath. When I consider the phrase extraordinary occasion, it speaks to me that is an emergency and something of an urgent nature that needs, for various reasons, cannot be postponed, as it would perhaps put our republic or our people in danger or the threat of something imminent. People in my district have spoken loudly on this issue, and the overwhelming consensus is that we face no emergency or immediate danger. And I must be honest with this chamber, I echo their sentiments. What I do find concerning is that we find ourselves in the midst of a session that presents such a danger to public safety that only days ago Metro Nashville Police advised that anyone who works in the Nashville downtown area should stay home during this session for their own safety. Additionally, there are bills filed now that we must consider outside the normal rules of order in a very abbreviated amount of time that these bills seek to address a myriad of very complex topics. These topics, during the course of an ordinary session of the General Assembly, would deserve robust debate through a committee process. This would be accompanied with valuable feedback from the citizens of this state as they follow the legislative process. Some of these bills seek to abrogate the rights of Tennesseans, and some of them seek to even enlarge the use of federal Medicaid spending, thereby expanding our entanglements with the federal government. I fear that no matter how well-intentioned this extraordinary session may be, it was ill-conceived and is in fact in and of itself not a danger to public safety, but in large part an act that may lessen or abridge the rights and privileges of every Tennessean. I'm bound by my duty to the oath that I took to the Constitution of the State of Tennessee, to my conscience, and for reasons stated herein, I make a motion to adjourn.